When a new baby joins a family, it is typically a happy and joyful time for everyone in the family. However, for Lane and Curtis, the arrival of their second child turned their lives on their heads in a way they never could have imagined. Their oldest son, Fred, could not believe the newborn baby girl was indeed his sister. He could not believe it. To resolve Fred's concerns, his parents agreed to have a DNA test, despite their initial suspicions that he was being jealous. They had no idea that the test findings would show a terrible fact that would completely alter the course of their lives. Let's have a look at the case of lost identity. The DNA test shatters the notion of sisterhood. Many people thought that Lane and Curtis were an attractive couple. They had a wedding straight out of a fairy tale, and then moved to the outskirts of New York City. They had a happy life together, full of love for one another, and the support of their loved ones, both near and far. Their lives have continued to be nearly ideal, even after the arrival of their first child, Fred. When Lane discovered she was pregnant a second time, Fred could not contain his excitement at the thought of having a younger sibling. He could not wait for her to arrive and could not stop rubbing his mother's swelling belly in anticipation of her arrival. However, when the day finally came and Fred laid eyes on the newborn, he expressed his amazement, declaring that she was not his sister. This was because Fred had always believed that his sister was dead. The fact that Fred did not want his new baby brother or sister shocked Lane and Curtis. They questioned whether it was a case of jealousy or a fear of losing their love and attention. In spite of their efforts to get Fred involved in taking care of the infant, he kept his distance and continued to insist that the baby was not his sister. He also continued to convey his view that the baby was not his sister. Curtis, who was becoming more and more concerned about Fred's inability to embrace his sister, finally managed to get Lane to take Fred to visit a child psychologist by the name of Warren Robertson. The psychologist observed Fred as an exceptionally intelligent and reasonable youngster, and she proposed conducting a DNA test to offer objective evidence that the infant in question was, in fact, Fred's sister. Lane and Curtis agreed to take the DNA test in the hopes that it would convince Fred to change his mind. However, when the findings came back, they were stunned and disheartened by what they saw. The results of the test demonstrated that the newborn baby girl did not have a genetic connection with either Lane or Curtis. The pair resolved to find out the reality behind the switch that had taken place in the maternity hospital, and they set off on their journey to do so. They confronted the hospital's management and demanded an investigation into what had occurred. After several days of looking, they found another family who might have ended up with their biological child. This family consisted of a young couple who were under severe circumstances. The young couple, Lane and Curtis, were devastated upon learning about the destruction of their own home. The situation was further complicated by the financial difficulties faced by the couple who had been taking care of their biological child. Lane and Curtis were already in shock, and the news made them realize the disastrous error they had made and the impact it had on both families. Realizing the gravity of the situation, Lane and Curtis decided to reach out to the couple and express their deep remorse for the unintended consequences of their actions. They acknowledged the financial struggles and the burden placed on the other family, understanding that their own child's medical needs had added to the already difficult circumstances. Lane and Curtis discussed the situation with their in-laws and recognized the strain it put on them as well. They expressed gratitude for their support during this challenging time and discussed possible solutions to alleviate the financial burden on the couple and find alternative living arrangements. In an effort to make amends, Lane and Curtis reached out to organizations and communities that provide assistance to families in need. They sought financial aid for the couple to help them with their living expenses and their child's medical care. They also explored options for finding suitable housing for the couple and their child, considering resources available through social services, local charities, and community support networks. What do you think of the video? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like and hit that subscribe button before you go. Thanks for watching.